Well, so it is a lovely afternoon. सुबह के 11 बज रहे हैं and we are in sector 17 Chandigarh, and I wanted to be here at a bookstore which is very dear to me. I'm recording another conversation, a very candid conversation which I love to have with a bookstore owner which is here in sector 17 Chandigarh. I'm pretty sure the people who live here, they must be loving to come here, and they must even love to have a conversation with them. So I thought, why not I have a candid one and record it for you guys. Stay tuned. I firstly wanted to know like how your usual day begins, because you have a bookstore which is pretty different from having some other business like. So what's the kind of energy that you bring over to the store? How does it your morning goes like?
So my number of hours over here is finite. So I have to pack in whatever I have within that number of. It's almost 5.5, 6 hours. So I try to put in as much as I can in that. When I come in the morning, the boys have a list for me what to do. Mostly, it is a lot of WhatsApp messages, regarding book inquiries, which they are unable to answer. Most have been done, but they leave a lot for me. So I check those inquiries, reply to the customer. Then I have the previous day's report of all the books that I've sold. We get into that, figure out what to order, what not to, and then regular routine things.
Wonderful. You ever thought, sir, that this is something that you wanted to do when you were probably in the younger days, or you're young, but still, did you ever thought about it, or like how come this bookstore thing happened to you?
Well, it was more an organic process. I never thought that I'll get into it full time. My father used to run the place. He did it for many, many years. So I'm sure in his mind, the back of his mind was the aspiration that I will take up the business from him, or continue to do that. I had other thoughts, like you do when you're out of college.
Yes.
But gradually, it just turned out that I slowly and organically fit into this business, and there was no going back after that.
So like you told, that reading happened organically to you, or it was something which was given from your parents? What do you think?
So reading was a very interesting thing. When I was in school, I used to have an Irving Wallace at home, which I desired to read. But I was in class 9, so I was kind of forbidden to pick that book up.
All right.
So to get to that book, I had to read a lot of other books so that I could say that I'm a reader and pick up an Irving Wallace, which had content that I was not supposed to read that time. So that put me on, and then when I started, then there was, it just continued and continued. Then Irving Wallace was really not much of a thing.
Uh, it would be very cliche to us, but like, what do you think over the years? How do you think books has, from the time you started this childhood thing and over the time now, how do you think the books have actually groomed you as a person, as a human?
See, every book you read, even if it's the worst of trash, you will find something very interesting to read. I've seen a lot of people don't like to read Chetan Bhagat because it is very lowbrow. But to me, it is a very important book because Chetan Bhagat opened a lot of youngsters into reading. People who were not reading, they found that very readable, interesting, relatable, and easy to read. So they read it. And once they had read a handful of Chetan Bhagats or a handful of books which were similar to that, then they wanted to get deeper into reading, perhaps different reading. I wouldn't say better because that's an introduction. So they wanted to get into different reading. So that put a lot of youngsters into reading. And Chetan Bhagat was at the cusp of that internet era where books were probably at the peak, and the net explosion had yet to begin.
Yeah, wonderful point of view. But like personally, how do you think it has groomed the books have reading has groomed you over the person?
So, the books which have a lot more depth than just a work of fiction or a thriller,
Right.
you read them, you get an interesting perspective every time you read that book. For example, some of those Richard Bach books, Illusions, for example, I've read that quite a few times, and every time you find something interesting and new to ponder about.
Right.
So, and then you also look back at the perspective that you saw, or you thought about it or read it maybe 15, 20 years back, and then you look at the same thing from a different prism as a person with slightly more years behind you.
Right.
Yeah, so it gives you an interesting idea as to how you thought at that point of time and what you think now.
So you only at different phases of life I is able to see different versions of a book from different angles over the time, right?
Yes,
As you
though
mature.
I am so spoiled for choice of books that I don't end up reading too many of them a second time.
Okay.
But sometimes what happens is you are out of a book,
Yeah.
and you find something old in the library and you feel that you may or may not have read.
Right.
Then you start reading it again and you only realize it halfway through that, oh, this is already read.
Right.
But yet you continue, and that gives the interesting perspective.
Right. I fondly remember, sir, when we were talking about travel. I
Car pe ho jayegi.
I remember when we were talking about travel and treks. That is when you gave a little hint about treks, and that is where I got a lot of interest because I personally love to travel. Mountain something adventure kind of stuff really inspire me a lot. And they say that travel is something that removes all your prejudices, and there couldn't be a better learning when you are traveling and exploring. How do you think this travel thing has inspired you, sir?
See, travel, especially the trekking part of it. When I was in school, I was amongst the laziest people in my class. Never played too many sport. Would run away from all the activities like a marathon or something. And then I was in YPS, and every year it was compulsory for you to either go for a trek or a tour. And lazy that I was, I said I can't walk. I will probably just take all the tours. So I went on all the tours. But once I came out of school, probably more towards when I was doing my graduation, somewhere at the back of mind was always there that challenge that I should be able to trek. So that is how it started. Trekking was part of it, and then when I got my own vehicle, the adventure was to explore, and especially the hills, Himalayas. So in the span of about 7 to 8 years, I traveled a lot in my car in the Himalayas. What people are doing now, because that
Right.
time I'm talking
Absolutely.
about mid 90s.
I cannot imagine the kind of roads it must have been.
Yeah, and I could go solo, or whoever was willing to come along with me, we would go. So I traveled a lot during that period, and then I got into a bit of trekking as well. And you're right that when you go on a trek, it is a completely different experience. You don't know most of the people you're traveling with. Sometimes you're just solo, you and maybe a guide walking along with you.
Yeah.
The kind of introspection, the kind of things that go into your mind,
Yeah.
and the sheer absorption of the expanse that you look at, it's mesmerizing. It's a different experience.
Wow, sir. I mean, like, especially the solo thing that you told, sir. I also love solo traveling. But a question which I kind of get so often from people is that, a lot of people fear getting out of that bubble of being solo because they always have people around. There's always a comfort net, you can say. So, how you're able to do, or you were able
See,
to do
comfort,
solo?
you don't necessarily have to be absolutely solo.
Yeah.
You can have a guide walking along with you. Somebody,
Right.
especially if you go on a trail which is unexplored or it's not very well traveled, then you should have somebody along because emergencies don't ask and come.
Yeah.
And of course, you have the support that fellow can carry your stuff and you are lighter and you
Right.
can walk more.
Right.
So that always helps.
But what is the one inspiration that makes people get out of that bubble? That's, leave or take the first step.
I think it's, I don't know. For me, it was mostly exploring and trying to figure out what my own limits were.
All right.
And I had to get out of that mindset of whether I could do that. And when I started doing it, it was so beautiful. It was so much fun that I continued to do it.
What would be like your favorite place where all you traveled over the time in the Himalayas, probably?
So I can't pinpoint. I can't pinpoint. There are quite a few, and of course I haven't done a road trip for many years now.
All right.
But I think my favorite was the base camp trek.
Okay, you've
Yeah.
been for Everest Base Camp.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, summit was never in my mind, but that was
Everest
one of
Base
the-
Camp is
yeah.
surely, sir. It's a. I mean, I've actually, there have been times when I just look and scroll and think one day I'll also try to go for it. But I don't know when you exactly did it, but I'm sure it must have been a.
I was 47 when I did it.
Oh,
And this was again a solo trip. And even on a solo trip, as you walk along, there's so many people who will come along with you. Even if you're in a group, sometimes you're not walking with the group because everybody has a different pace.
Yeah.
So eventually you end up walking with somebody who's walking your speed.
Right.
And then people are from everywhere in the world, and you have so many conversations, so many things to learn, so many things to tell them. It's a
Whether out of curiosity, how does this thing helps you? I mean, you keep a diary and a pen always with you, and you write it down. You like to write down.
This guy called me.
All right.
अब इसका काम होना है 22 फरवरी को.
All right.
कहाँ से याद रहेगा?
Right. But these days, I mean, I actually posted a video of like I was journaling and talking about journaling and the good things about it. But people have actually stopped doing it because technology has taken over so much that
So then you see, either I maintain it on this,
All right.
or I maintain it on this.
Yeah.
I find this more handy. Perhaps I'm slightly old school.
Yeah.
और मेरे को इसकी, I'm in a habit of doing this, so it is far easier for me to open this and check.
What? But I sometimes come across people who say कि मेरे को बहुत टाइम हो गया मैंने पेन ही नहीं चलाया because they have been so much of टच स्क्रीन की इतनी आदत पड़ जाती है. People have forgotten that once I posted a video of I was telling something about fountain pens. So I have a fountain pen very old from class 6 standard. I have kept it very old. It is, yeah. So that was the time. I mean, people went crazy in the comments. They were telling me that how I helped them to get the nostalgia of that fountain pen, and they have now thought of buying another fountain pen and trying to get back to the habit of writing with it. I would love to know कि how do you speak so polished? I mean, आपकी हिंदी भी इतनी प्यारी है, आप पंजाबी भी पूरी खड़ी बोलते हो, and your English is like so perfectly.
यार यहाँ पे आप जब बैठोगे तो दिन में आपके पास सारे स्पीकर आते हैं, हिंदी वाला भी आता है, पंजाबी वाला भी आता है और अंग्रेजी वाला भी आता है, तो आप जिस भाषा में वो बात कर रहा है आप इसी भाषा में बात
But नहीं, your accent is like very polished. I mean. Yeah.
All I can say is thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, the way you have been groomed maybe by your schools or parents could have had...
I think you listen and absorb. You listen to different accents and you absorb. And especially I thank YPS for that, my school.
Okay.
When we were in school, there was a lot of people in the boarding house.
All right.
And these people in the boarding house were from all over Punjab.
All right.
So those are things you just absorb and they come into you without making any conscious effort.
Right.
So every part of Punjab has a different Punjabi accent.
Yes.
So you pick up, and when you are speaking to somebody in that particular accent, you can just instantly switch because you've spoken and heard it.
Yeah.
It just becomes instinctive.
Wonderful. What about the English one?
Well, I did study in an English medium school after all. And we had excellent English teachers.
No, sir. I mean, I have come across people who tell me that they are fan of the way you carry yourself and your accent, the way you speak very polished. I mean, there are people who complimented you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I don't think I should answer that.
No, but I mean, I'm sure that there are a lot of people who want to get better with it. Do you think this can be polished, or how do you think this can be polished, people?
I think it's just communication. It's when you interact with people, and your objective is, irrespective of the language, it's to get through.
Yeah.
Okay, अगर आप वो हिंदी में उसके साथ आपको कम्युनिकेट कर पा रहे हो या आपको समझा पा रहे हो जो आपने समझाना है, तो जिस भाषा में जैसे जिसको समझ आए, विदाउट मेकिंग एन इशू दैट आई हैव टू स्पीक इन अ सर्टेन लैंग्वेज. जब हम बात कर रहे हैं तो हमारी कॉन्स्टेंटली स्विच हो रही है फ्रॉम इंग्लिश टू हिंदी, अ मिक्स ऑफ बोथ. Because we are not trying to make a conversation in a certain language. We are just interacting and communicating. So उसमें जैसा flow अच्छा बन जाए, क्यों नहीं.
Wonderful.
मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि जो आप पूछ रहे हो उसको मैं आपको समझा पाऊँ. So जैसे भी समझ आ जाए.
Wonderful.
ये तो we are spoiled in our country for choice कि हमें अपनी लोकल भाषा भी आती है, ज़्यादातर हिंदी भी आती है और इंग्लिश भी आती है. So हम कैसे भी बात करो.
Wow. So coming back to that, the Everest Base Camp adventure. I mean, if we can weave together all your adventure stories that you have had over the time, and if you could just put in one sentence, what would be like the learning you've got from it?
I would just say keep doing it. It's an endless process. Till as long as your legs can carry you and your back can support a backpack, carry on.
Wonderful. Like you own a bookstore over here, so a lot of people I'm sure come over, youth, the elder ones, the young ones. When you come across them, what is something that they look up to when they talk to you? What exactly do they find in books when they are talking?
The first is a funny one. When people come and they talk to me, they feel that every book in the bookstore I've read and I have an opinion about.
Wow.
Of course, I need to have an opinion about every book because that is my business. I sell those books.
Yeah.
But it just seems too impossible to have read.
Yeah.
Even maybe 2% of all that I have.
Right.
So sometimes when I'm having a conversation, I realize that this person assumes that I know everything about every book that is available.
You mean the customer?
The customer, yeah. People I interact with.
Absolutely.
Half my job is talking to people, interacting, suggesting a book or trying to find out what they would enjoy to read, like that.
Do you think people love to carry a perception that they are already bringing of a genre or a particular something, or they love to take from you as well?
See, largely people come with a fixed mind.
Okay.
There is a small percentage which comes to explore, and a small percentage which is open to ideas. And that is what is the delight, because this is a person who's ready to explore. He's
Right.
ready to look into the ideas that you are offering to him or her.
Right.
Somebody who's come with a fixed idea, like a gentleman who just came looking for Greek mythology.
Yeah.
I can't sell him a John Grisham
Yeah.
because that's what he wants, that's what he'll take.
Yeah. So how do you think one can have that kind of attitude of being open to, because this is not just a session of book, this is just, I think, about random life. If somebody is open to learning, he'll be open to learning in every sphere that life puts him.
You're talking to a person who's very, very close-minded and not so open to learning. And this is what my family tells me. I believe I am open to learning, but I realize as I grow that it's a trait that I would have liked to have. But yes, I agree with you that you have to be open to learning. Unless you step out, you can't even explore yourself. You don't even know your own abilities till you come out and explore.
Yeah. Would you like to give credits to your travel adventures, or?
In a lot of ways.
All right. I
Because
think travel makes you humble, right? It's
not
okay.
only that, it's a huge trip in introspection. You're disconnected from family, friends. Now, of course, things are different. But once back in 2000, I went for a trip to Mansarovar and Kailash. That point of time, phones were not there. So I was completely disconnected from my family for 21 to 25 days roughly, till we got back to connection.
Okay.
For emergencies, of course, there was a satellite communication which the head of the group carried. And there's a group of 27 completely disparate people. I knew no one from that group. And you live with them for 27 days. It is a complete experience. They become family by the end of it.
Wonderful,
So,
sir. I mean, I can only imagine that how this basically shapes entire
Yes,
personality of
absolutely.
yours. Right?
It just
grooms
changes
so
you.
differently.
Yeah.
Do you think this came from your family, or like mostly from school only, right? Or your parents also wanted you to
My
try?
father was quite an adventurous man in terms of travel.
All right.
And even in his 60s and 70s, when he was in his younger days, he used to love traveling. So I guess somewhere it must be a genetic defect.
Wow, I think it's a genetic magic, I would like to call it, sir. Do you think there has been a book also on travel which you have read, or probably you felt ki this is something which has inspired you, or
There are
something
two books. One I don't recall the name, but I'll tell you about the book. The other one is the one which is this person who's traveled from the westernmost point of the Himalayas all the way to the easternmost point of the Himalayas. The title and the book, I think it's called Walking the Himalayas.
Okay.
Vasudev, Walking the Himalayas किसकी है?
अच्छा उसकी स्वामी रामा की
नहीं, Walking the Himalayas.
अच्छा माइकल एंड वुड
हाँ
कोई ऐसा
हाँ माइकल वुड है, मैं देख रहा हूँ. वो बंदे ने जहाँ से पमीर नॉट से पैदल चलना शुरू किया.
So the starting point can be West Himalaya. When you say, you mean
Pamir Knot.
Uh,
Pamir Knot,
the
which is the
location?
junction of Central Asia, roughly China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, India.
All
That
right.
little corner over there.
all right.
Yeah.
And then towards the eastern.
All the way he travels, and where he couldn't cross the border from Pakistan directly into India, then he came down to the Wagah border, crossed the border, and then went to the closest point at the border in Kashmir where he had left off,
Oh,
and then started walking all the way down, then through Nepal and towards the eastern end of the Himalayas.
what is something which inspired you about that?
I would have loved to do that myself.
But why so? Like normal people will call you crazy for such an idea.
So you see, the early travelers from
Yeah.
Europe also were crazy people. I mean,
Yeah.
they had the sense of exploring. Somebody discovered India, somebody discovered America. It has to be a spot of craziness taking that kind of risk. I mean, these days the risk is not so much.
Yeah.
But you know, just imagine the spirit of adventure, going out in a boat
Yeah.
with a handful of people, crossing oceans, and you don't even know where you're going.
Wow. Looks like some movie, sir.
Doesn't it?
Do you get time, sir, now to travel? Well, now that you have a family, do you get time?
So, I do, but of course it becomes more sparing.
Yeah.
So, I went to Mount Kilimanjaro for my 50th birthday. Again, a solo trek.
Wow.
So, this is post-marriage and post my son. So,
Oh.
yeah, you do find time to do
Yeah.
it. It's not very often, but you still find time when you have to do something.
Wonderful, sir.
So, I come across a lot of interesting people who are also fond of doing it and who are doing it.
Wow.
And then I feel that, you know, I wish I could do that too. I mean, everybody has different kind of constraints in time and job profile. So when I see people doing it, then I become very envious.
So I think you would probably like to say that if now at a younger age, the age is allowing us, our bones are allowing us, our muscles are
You
allowing
should
us.
do it when you can.
We should surely, yeah, right. Wonderful, sir. क्या बात है?
This is turning out to be more a conversation on travel than on books and bookshops.
Sir. Actually, because travel is something which is I'm fond of, and this is something I did not came prepared that I'll be talking around.
Okay.
But okay, we'll return back.
No. I'm okay. I'm just sort of pointing that out.
Yeah. Sir, I think one book which we really gelled well on last suggestion which you gave me was which I'll never forget, and it's a very easy to read, but the Dalai Lama's Cat.
Oh yeah. I find that to be a fascinating book.
Yeah.
You know, it has so much depth because you learn so much about life. Buddhism apart, there are so many such deep lessons of life that you learn from that book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful, sir. I think I was able to see Sitting McLeodganj from a different angle
Once
after
you read
reading
that
that
book,
also.
yeah.
I could actually think around that. Okay,
you feel like the cat.
Yeah, the cat is walking around and everything. Do you think that book really, as a person, also that changed you?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't think so, because I read it much later in life, and by then I had become fixated enough in all my ideas. But despite that, it does give you a lot of depth of understanding.
Wow.
Depth understanding of people, understanding of our own journey.
Right.
That's what makes it very nice.
What would be like, sir, your best read of 2025 last year? Something you came across and you look back, you were like, what a lovely thing, that came into your hands, and you're glad about reading it.
So I did not plan this reading this book. It had been on the stand for many months, but I happened to go to my nephew's place in Gurgaon.
Okay.
And for lack of anything better, I just found this book. You just read a few pages at night before you sleep. So I was reading that. It turned out to be a book called "Why the Poor Don't Kill Us" by Manu Joseph.
Why the Poor Don't Kill Us. Wow.
By Manu Joseph. It's a small book, but I found it a very intriguing read. It's got nothing to do with travel, nothing to do with life lessons. It's just human behavior and understanding and economics all put together, and put it on Indian people, us.
Wow.
So it reflects, because you realize a lot of ways you think as an Indian and why.
Wow. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. That probably gives us a lesson that we should not be so rigid with one kind of genre that we have been reading. We should be flexible to.
I tell that to myself, because I would not have picked up that book at my bookstore and taken it to read.
Right. You would have been probably in your comfort genres, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's wonderful, sir. You love to tell to your children also, or do you love to transfer this habit of reading to them?
It's not a transferable habit.
Okay, then
Every
look up.
individual has to pick it up themselves.
Wow.
Again, I'm talking about this nephew of mine. He was not much of a reader, but now I've seen over the years he's become quite a voracious reader, and he reads different kind of stuff.
Wow.
And my son, on the other hand, he is not much of a reader. I would have liked him to be. I've never pushed him, because if it has to come, it has to come to him to read.
Right.
Maybe he will also have his Irving Wallace day.
So I think they say that you don't choose a book, the book chooses you. Sometimes a book you read at a certain age, it doesn't make any difference to you. But the same thing you pick after a certain age, it makes some magical wonders to you. And then you understand that over the time, now you are able to finally understand it. Do you think so? It happens?
It's possible, because very often a book has been lying and you don't want to read it, you don't touch it.
Yeah.
But at a certain point of time, you just instinctively pick up.
Yeah.
Why you pick up instinctively, I can't answer.
Wow.
But it just happens.
Wow. And so what about this attention span, sir? Like, it is decreasing so much day by day. People have instant gratification. It's so much present on the plate. And on the other hand, having that stamina to like go across such a thick book, or like a book which requires a great amount of focus and a long dedication. People are not able to stay on this.
It's an immersive process.
Yeah.
So even to get the hang and enjoy the immersive process is a feeling. So once you get, shall I say, addicted to that immersive process of reading a book, where you're lost in the book, there is a complete world which is created in your mind. It is whirling while you're reading that book, and it is completely disconnected to where you are, what you are. And especially when I say this, I talk about fiction. when you get addicted to that immersive process, then you will continue to read.
Wow.
It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over a few books,
Right.
and it could be any book.
Yeah. Do you think a person who's trying to make this habit but he's failing over and over, how can a person make the habit?
Give up for a while, try after a while.
Okay.
Why push yourself? I mean, just because reading is a good habit doesn't mean that you have to have it. There are lots of other good habits you have. I mean, that's okay.
Wow.
You can get into it.
No
But
judgment.
sometimes, why?
Yeah.
Some people play sports,
Yeah.
some people don't, some people read books, some people don't. It's okay.
Wow. That is a very different
It's not a
perspective, right?
character to say that, okay, you are a good person only if you read a book. You read a book, you enjoy it.
Right. That's wonderful, sir. I love how holistically wide you are. Like, as a person, you've explored a lot of things over the time.
I'm beginning to discover myself as we chat.
So, if let's say we could, it's a very cliche to ask, I think, but if we could put the child version of you in front of you, let's say the 20 version, when you were 28, 30, could there be an advice which you would want to give to that guy? Let's say he's sitting along with us. What would you like to say?
While you have the chance, and this is not just about travel, explore everything while you have the chance. Because sooner or later you get into the regular routine of life. Even while you are within that routine of life, you can still, within that framework, you can do a lot of exploration.
Yeah.
So you should do what you can.
Wonderful, sir.
And you see, in a certain phase of life, you're working for money because you need to make your retirement comfortable.
Yeah.
But wherever you get the opportunity to discover yourself, because exploring is also about discovering yourself. Never leave a chance.
Yeah. Wow, sir. That's a wonderful take, sir. I think I would like to conclude with something which most of us at my age probably struggle. We talk a lot about work-life balance. If whatever work it is and whatever life we are living, or let's say we are passionate about a few things, we somehow want that we are able to live a life in which we are able to balance the work also and the life also. But we have also been told that work-life balance is actually a myth. It doesn't work that well. Balancing it always, you kind of not go so well with that. But how do you think one can?
Somewhere you have to be lucky to be working and doing what you enjoy. That way, is that balance of work and life sort of ceases to exist because what you're doing, you're enjoying. I have a friend whose son is into robotics and electronics and engineering. I've seen he's so passionate about what he's doing that it ceases to be work. It is endless enjoyment. He's doing it. But work, like, you do have to find time for yourself.
Yeah.
If you are in a job and you are doing something continuously, which is a job, you do need to find time for yourself.
Yeah. Right.
Even to do that job, even that particular work aspect of it, you'll probably do much better if you find time for yourself.
Wow.
Because the body, the mind, it
Yeah.
needs a break, it needs a rest
Yeah.
to recuperate and go back with full energy to whatever you don't want to do.
Wow. Wonderful, sir. If you could sum up this everything that you have told, let's just conclude this, and if you could sum up everything that life has been so kind to teach you, which probably you look up and look in the mirror sometimes and often just tell yourself, remind yourself, is there something, some quote or it could be some random thing.
I can't say anything. I mean, it's just that I've been blessed. I've had a good upbringing, lovely parents who supported me,
Wow.
a good wife and child who have, I mean, when you get married, your biggest constraint is that you will not be able to do a lot of things. I've never had that constraint.
Okay.
I've had that freedom to do my exploration, even at that stage. So those are good things to happen. And generally you are blessed. Yeah.
Wonderful,
I
sir.
can work the way I want to at my times during. Whenever and whatever I wish to, I work. I enjoyed my job. So.
No, sir, there are a lot of people which I've heard telling me that there's a guy of this Capital Bookstore in Sector 17, and he's got a very charming personality. You have a charm in your personality, and it's probably the way you have groomed yourself.
Built it up.
Yeah. All right, sir. I think I would like to conclude it over here.
Thank you very much. Thank
Grateful for the time you've given me, sir.
you. Lovely. I enjoyed talking to you.
Yes.
Thank you.